All right, got a short little video for you guys today. It's actually supposed to come out a couple of days ago, but because of the holiday this weekend, it's also my birthday this weekend. Is a bit hectic. I couldn't get it out, but just saw something a little interesting that the government just released, and I think I just got to talk about it. So the government has officially changed the definition of what it means to be a terrorist. And you still got all the classical post 9/11 stuff, the typical stuff that you'd expect, but they've also added two new things that I think are much more interesting. The first one would be the anti fascist groups, which, in a country based on democracy, you'd think it'd be a good thing to be anti fascist, but I guess not in the eyes of the government. And the second one uh, is something I find much more interesting, which would be the prosecution of groups with ideologies that would be considered un American. And I think that's quite dangerous. That seems like a very loose term. That seems like a gateway to prosecuting people that have views that are opposed to the government's current actions. And I think that could be used quite a bit in prosecuting people that are negative towards a certain unnamed country in the Middle East. Uh, but, that's neither here or there. But I don't think that's very good. I don't see that going anywhere, any place good. It seems like the beginning of a true dictatorship where they suppress the media and the people who do not align with the government's ideology. And I think that that's just incredibly dangerous. And we should not be going in that direction at all. I got all this information from the WhiteHouse.gov. It's actually the United States counterterrorism strategy document that I think was released within the month. I do believe so. I do credibly trust this information, seeing as it is from an official government source or official government website. But it is still not a good direction or not a good law. I think should be passed or a good, I guess, counterterrorism strategy, because that seems like it is the gateway, the door to a totalitarian government with control over the media and the press, and even over the beliefs of the citizens. Which, being an American myself and believing in the Constitution, I think is horrible, and I don't think it is very constitutional, personally. But yeah, it's a very weird document. It's a very weird wording of that, and I think it's a very loose wording. I think there's a lot of room for it to be exploited and used on citizens that are critiquing the U.S.'s actions in foreign affairs and even affairs at home with all the ICE stuff and the fraud and stuff in Minneapolis. And I actually saw a video of, I think it was either Minnesota police or Minneapolis police in full riot gear with this new prototype armor. It looks terrifying. It looks like something straight out of 1984. And, we're getting closer to that every day because we know we got Palantir, we got Oracle, we got the flock cameras. It's terrifying. And now we've got this. We've got ICE. I mean, it's like a complete totalitarian dictatorship. Huh? It's like we live in like communist, like the Soviet Union, or like Mao China, or like North Korea. It's crazy. The government has its own secret police force now. They can arrest people for being un-American. Uh, they've got people. They've got these agents ripping apart families and starving people and not giving medical care to ICE detainees. Like this one woman, they refused to give her medical care after having a miscarriage in an ICE detention facility. Um, but yeah, it's all horrible, and this is horrible. Yeah, what terrifies me the most about it is the fact that there's not really much we can actually do to stop this. Like it is getting bad, and I don't really think many people realize just how bad and corrupt it is quite yet. man, I think it's only going to get worse over the next few years because we got all the stuff happening in Europe with the Internet Safety Act and all that, and people getting arrested for Facebook posts critiquing the government, and now with this stuff in America, it just seems like a gateway to do the same thing, and I don't really see that going anywhere good. And as Americans, British people can't even own guns, which is crazy. Like that's truly insane. You've got all these immigrants over there stabbing people with swords and knives, and knife crime is just ridiculous. I mean, you gotta have a license to have a knife. I'm not British though, so don't quote me on that. I'm sure the laws are a lot more complex than I make it out to seem. I know that you have to have certain permits to have certain kinds of knives, and certain kinds of knives are just illegal to own. Um, but for America, I do think this is quite uh, a dangerous road to go down because this kind of power used in a negative way could severely stunt the growth of America and the humanity as a whole, which I personally think is horrible. I think anyone who is a detriment to the general stability of the human race should be a threat to humanity and should be taken care of with extreme prejudice. But as Americans, there's limited things we can even do about this besides full blown revolution, which will probably be coming in the next like 10 years or something. I'm not supporting revolution. I think there's still diplomatic ways to get out of this. But as Americans, we can't even really do anything about this. Like the elections, they're just not real. Uh, if I don't know how it looks from a foreign perspective, but as an American, the elections are rigged. They're all rigged. It's always rigged. It's just one party. Uh, I know they display themselves as two separate parties with different opposing ideology, but it's the same thing. It's just puppets working for bigger, larger entities that are beyond our control and beyond our scope of knowledge. People that have so much power they can do literally anything. Uh, but besides full blown revolution, which I don't think is a good idea either, there's really not much we can do about this, and it honestly worries me for the future of this country. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, Netanyahu just wished us a happy 4th of July. Uh, that's kind of weird. I don't know why he'd do that. He's not American. But yeah, that's pretty much it. See ya.